Ladies and gentlemen, the State Award for Automobiles and Auto Parts for micro and small category goes to Citizen Press Components, Ludhiana. The State Award for Automobiles and Auto Parts, medium category, goes to Gillard Electronics Private Limited, SAS Nagar. The State Award for Textiles, Micro and Small category goes to Kudu Knit Process Private Limited, Ludhiana. And of course, there's such wonderful photo ops here. The recipients very proud. The State Award for Textiles Medium category goes to Duke Fashion India Limited, Ludhiana. And the State Award for Engineering, Micro and Small category goes to Crystal Electric Company Private Limited, Ludhiana. The State Award for Engineering, Medium category goes to Bihari Lal Ispat Private Limited, Fatehgarh Sahib. And the State Award for Pharmaceuticals, Micro and Small category goes to Concern Pharma Limited, Ludhiana. Keep up the round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. These are very distinguished recipients of very distinguished awards. The State Award for Sports, Micro and Small category goes to Ratan Brothers, Jalandhar. And the State Award for Sports Medium category goes to Nivea Synthetics Private Limited, Unit 3, Jalandhar. The State Award for Hand Tools, Micro and Small category goes to Falcon Garden Tools Private Limited, Ludhiana. The State Award for Hand Tools, Medium category, goes to Ajay Industries, Jalandhar. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, a state award for the leather industry, micro and small category. And this award goes to Sakai Overseas, Jalandhar. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please let's have a round of applause for all these very, very distinguished winners. Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, sir. I'd like to request Mr. Aditya Puri, Managing Director, HDFC Bank, to please join us now on stage. Also, Mr. Rajat Agarwal, Chief Executive Officer, Invest Punjab, who will explain the partnership between HDFC and Invest Punjab for improving access to credit for MSMEs.
Access to finance is decidedly a major bottleneck in the growth of industry, especially the MSMEs. It is in this light that the Government of Punjab collaborated with HDFC Bank to extend and facilitate financing for the medium, micro and small scale industries in the state of Punjab. So may I request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly disburse the loan for MSMEs. In the last 1 month, the state of Punjab and HDFC Bank has worked together and facilitated more than 700 beneficiaries, extending loan facilities of 1100 crores to the MSME sector. I am sure the financial facilities will boost the MSMEs of the state and also spur industrial growth in different sectors where MSMEs operate in the state of Punjab.
The Honorable Chief Minister, Captain Amarinder Singh, now leaving. Let's express our gratitude with a round of applause. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to invite Mr. Prab Das, Managing Director and CEO, HMEL, more popularly known as the Bhatinda Refinery. We're going to request him to share his experience of investing in Punjab.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm not from Punjab, but I work for Punjab now. I'm a MD and CEO of HPCL Mittal Energy Limited, which is having a refinery in Bhatinda. I'll just take you through the small presentation, which is mainly a photograph, so you can have a look at it. This is a joint venture of HPCL and Mittal. This is a 50-50 venture, and we started with a project of 22,000 crore rupees to build a refinery in Punjab, a 1,000-kilometer pipeline and import facility. We were given a job in 2008, and this was the starting point. We were, as I mentioned, I'm not from Punjab, we were very scared. Will we get land? Will we get power? Will we get water? Will we get approval? Will we get infrastructure? Everything was new. Will we get labor? These are the world-class facilities we were supposed to make. In 2012, for 48 months, we built a full refinery inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India. 48 months, we are having a full refinery. Our turnover now is 60,000 crore. 60,000 crore. So, and the concrete used for this is twice what was used in Burj Khalifa. The steel used, we can make 13 Eiffel Towers. So we did it. This is Punjab. We did in 48 months, 23,000 crore rupees. We used cable which can go up and down from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. This is Punjab. We had an issue, we have no issue at all. We are now running for last 7 years. Not a single day has gone. Not a single day has gone where we have to stop work or our production for want of labor issues or any issues for that matter. So we had money. We were generating money, we were supposed to invest. We were supposed to invest 22,000 crore again on a petrochem project. We could have gone anywhere on earth, to do this. Our sponsors are sitting in London, sitting in Mumbai. We can go on anywhere. But what we chose, 11th of March, this government took place. 11th of March 2017, I met the Honorable Chief Minister 7 days later, and I asked him, we want to build a petrochem project, we want water, we want power and water. 3 minutes, 200 megawatt of power was sanctioned in 3 minutes, which is we can light up the half of Chandigarh with that power. We want water, 23 cusecs of water we wanted. It was approved in 4 minutes, and that's the Mr. Captain Amandar Singh. He's not here, but he really worked like a CEO and not a chief minister. So we started building this petchem project in April 17, 2017. The government took place on 11th of March. 1 month later, we started building. We had a target of 48 months. We had a target of 48 months, 23,000 crore project, biggest ever being built in India. So this is under construction, some photographs going on. We are on dot. We should be able to complete this in April 2021. So this is the work going on. 15,000 workers are working every day, day in and day out. 15,000. You ask me any problem? No problem at all. Approvals, we have in Punjab Invest. No problem. Labor, no issue. Invest in Punjab, This is the land of opportunities. Invest in Punjab. If you don't, you miss it. So this is all the photographs. This is the, the chart which we say, S-curve for the progress. We are on dot as on date. We are supposed to complete 80%. We have completed just 80%. It's only 13 more months that we will be completing this mechanically. Wonders are happening in Punjab. We didn't have any problem with land, with power, with water, with approval, with proximity to market, labor relation, connectivity, no issue. The team here, I want to take names. I want to take names because they are the one who are the dynamic leadership. We have our Honorable Chief Minister, Captain Amandar Singh. We have Finance Minister, Manpreet Singh Badal, PWD Minister, Vijayendra Singh, Industry Minister, Sundar Shyam Arora. Dynamic. Mr. Karan Avtar Singh. Whenever you go with the issues, it gets resolved. Vinny Mahajan, sitting here. Rajat Agrawal. These, if you have this team, nothing stops you from doing it. So thank you very much.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our next panel discussion, I'd like to request our participants to please come up on stage. Moderating the discussion, Mr. Deepak Bagla, Managing Director and CEO, Invest India. Mr. Sharafuddin Sharaf, Vice Chairman, Sharaf Group. Very warm welcome. Mr. Aditya Puri, Managing Director, HDFC Bank. Ms. Jyotsna Suri, Chairperson and Managing Director, Bharat Hotels, Lalit Hotels. And Mr. Rajiv Singh, Vice Chairman, DLF. I'll now hand over to Mr. Deepak Bagla.
Thank you, ma'am. Is the mic working? Thank you. Good evening. We have a very important session now. And the idea is now to get down into real brass tacks, real experiences, and actually what is going to happen when we are looking today as an economy which is $80 billion. Punjab is probably one of the fastest, well, not probably, it is the top 5 fastest growing economies in India today. It's, I guess I'm going to be closing this year at about 10.7% GDP growth. That means this $80 billion today is going to be about $160 billion by 2025-26. What we are discussing now is that how will we have that additional $80 billion coming in? What are the partnerships which are required to bring that in? And most importantly, how does this addition to the balance sheet become more inclusive? So the session is on how do we do this growth with partnership and how do we make it more inclusive. And you know, I already told you that it is one of the top 5 fastest growing economies. And I have to compliment the entire team which is sitting here from the government. All of you here show the interest which is getting onto this place. But what is more interesting is that everybody thinks of Punjab as an agriculture economy. You know, of that 80 billion, only 30% has come from agriculture. Where the government of India itself is trying to move its industrial participation from 16, 18 to 25%, Punjab is already there. Close to 20 billion of that 80 billion comes from industry in Punjab. And that is growing close to 9%. The question which I have here, and the backbone of that entire 20 billion, what we just saw were the awards which were given out by the government, is MSME. So my first question goes to the person who was standing here just now, and you've already given so many loans. But before I start that question, let me tell you, here is a man who belongs to our very own city of Chandigarh. But let me tell you another thing of how he made the city of Chandigarh proud. The only CEO of India who's been ranked in the world's top 30 CEOs, not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. So what I want to bring to you is the excellence and the talent of the city. And this is where I pose my question, but most importantly before that I must tell you, which I vouch personally, not being one of the top CEOs is an important thing, but the best boss you can ever work with, and I vouch with that starting from the good year 1989. Exceptional, sir. What we really wanted to know, you've shown us this entire MSME thing. You've been doing, and your bank has been focusing a lot on that entire sector. That is the backbone for India. That 20 billion now is to move to 40 billion. What is it which Punjab needs to do to make that happen?
I think firstly I'd like to thank the government officials as well as the ministers for an overwhelming welcome. I've enjoyed the last 2 days that I've been here. Within that also, Deepak, I think you clarified, Punjab is the fastest growing state. It is definitely not only an agriculture state. So it's actually 25, 25, 40. 25 agriculture, 25 industry, and 50 services. So there is a major difference that has happened over the period. It is also very safe. We enjoy a large amount of women folk. We have about 600 branches. We're going to 1,000, and we found it very easy to work, and there's no labor issue. Within that, we want to straddle the entire business or the GDP of Punjab. We are growing, not only is Punjab the fastest growing state, we are growing our business here at 30% annually. And we see no reason why that shouldn't happen.
Right.
So by definition, I think, Deepak, we will double our business. Within that, we are actually lending to all sections of society. So we're lending to the large. You saw what we did for MSME, and I take Uday's point. I think the MSMEs in Punjab are highly efficient, focused, and know the market that they want to compete in. And it's probably, we all talk about ease of business. I think the person from the Mittal refinery said it as well. This is probably the state which has one single window. There's always somebody you can talk to and he'll get you the approval, and we did that for our training center and our BPO, where we're putting in about 4 lakhs. So we are growing. It's easy to do business here. On employability, we have also moved, we have decided to focus, which we found a lot of people not focusing, on the uneducated but skilled. So when you look at Punjab, there is a large portion of the population that is skilled. Skilled at what? Pulkari, rearing goats, carving, fertilizer, mustard oil. I think we took some of the ministers around and we showed them the categories we've done. We have actually financed 10 lakh women families in Punjab. Right. These are led by women, and we finance them, we train them, we help them with the marketing to be self-sufficient. They have enough money to send their kids to school and put some gold aside. We are also going in a big way to make Punjab cashless. So we have taken our QR code and UPI-based offerings all across Punjab, which is also doing very well. We've also got our CSR facilities. And we do believe there is a phenomenal workforce available here. So we're setting up our regional processing center for Punjab here. We're also setting up a skill development, not for ourselves. Obviously, we have a training center for ourselves, but for the youth, to transform what is now education into an education that gets you an employment. So we're talking with the universities, we were talking with Singla Saab, who's the minister, whereby we are jointly working out modules and processes so that they can have jobs available to them. And we think that is a very satisfying experience. For tourism, ma'am, I'd strongly recommend you talk to my good friend Ajay Banga. Sardar Sahab he's got a very soft corner for India, and tell him I said he should develop a priceless Punjab campaign which should change tourism. And I'd be happy to talk to him after you've talked to him. So I'd like to end by saying that we do want to give back. We're also having a blood donation camp here tomorrow. And I'd like people to know that we are a good bank, but we also believe in giving back to society. We are on the Guinness Book of World Record for collection of the largest amount of blood. So overall, let's say we are delighted to be in Punjab. The food is lovely. As Oberoi Saab said, the hospitality sometimes is fantastic. Like I had lunch with Singla Saab. He said, "Eh, halwa hai na, gurda bane hoya hai. Khai ja koi problem nahi hai." Main kehta keeda ki hoya. So he had this halwa which was on good, and then he says, "You have as much as you want," and I could see it was all pure ghee plus good. But he felt it did not affect my dieting, but that's all right. Net, I enjoyed here. I wish you all the best. I think dealing with the bureaucracy and the tango team of the ministers, we've had a great time here. Last but not the least, we are working on a lot of technology initiatives with the government to take banking to the last mile, as well as ensure payment is made to the right people in terms of subsidy, as well as more convenience. Thank you.
No, thank you, but don't keep the mic with you, Aditya. The previous session, we discussed a lot about startups. And there's a lot happening in this place about startups. Uday mentioned about the paucity of capital coming into startups. And startup is something which is going to be a big contributor to that entire 20 billion number which we're talking about. Not just from the fact that they're going to be job creators. From you as a bank, and you use technology so aggressively, how do you see your contribution towards funding that startup, apart from just working capital?
I just discussed with ma'am, we will be setting up an incubator here for startups.
Right.
So that is an area that's coming up. You must realize that 10 lakh women I've lent to are uneducated, so that's a higher risk than any startup. And we also, when we are lending to the small merchant, we are lending on a basis of faith. His father broke me. So we have, we need how many? 80,000 merchants? How many have we gone to? 88,000. So we've gone down to that level and not so sophisticated, but I think we're doing enough for startups.
I'm not going to push you on this, but I'll come back to you. I'm leaving the thought with you on looking at some risk capital, which is, I think, we've got two of them, so I'll leave you to think about it. That will be my last question when I come. And as always, you are always good at decision making, Aditya, so I'll leave that and I'm coming back.
I will commit the action, which is much better than the long-term intent. So I'll commit the action that I'll set up the incubator. I can't give you the figure today.
Thank you. I'll come back to that. But I have to speak to ma'am on this. Ma'am, 46% of that 80 billion is coming from the service sector. Tourism being a very big part of it, and we had Mr. Oberoi who discussed it with us a little earlier. There are two questions I have for you. One is not just tourism, including tourism, that what do you suggest Punjab should be looking at, but more importantly, you as one of the most powerful business women in India, you're an inspiration to women entrepreneurs. I want also to hear from you what you suggest should be done to pick that up. And I do know that women entrepreneurs are growing at about 100.
It's quite a, we've even got some ecotourism going around, and there are several different sectors. You have, I mean, it's ranking as #1 now. But there's much more than the Golden Temples. I would definitely look at heritage. The royal, I mean, the Maharajas, the palaces. Here we've got some fabulous royal or Maharaja tourism, as we might call it. Cuisine, fabulous cuisine, and that again can be brought into it. Ecotourism, there's a lot of adventure, and we could look at that aspect of it. And so on and so forth. There are several other such trails that can be created, and Punjab has the opportunity to do so. And your question about women, as you said, that as a woman entrepreneur, you know, I think we now need to get out of this male-female syndrome that we all suffer from. I think women are as good as men, or men are as good as women. And I think the entrepreneurial skills that are existing in Indians per se are equally distributed between men and women. So I really think that the women should come forth and establish themselves. Yes, there are several issues like security that come into the way, family commitments that come into the way, but I think that as time is evolving and as India is evolving, a woman is being able to multitask. She's able to look after her home, and she's able to look after her business and her family. And I think Punjab would be a great trendsetter in that. We already have a lot of women entrepreneurs and startups coming up. But I think we can go beyond that. For ourselves, at our hotels, we try and employ more women. I'm very proud to say we have an executive chef who's a woman here in Chandigarh, in Lalit Chandigarh Hotel. And currently we don't sit at a very good number. We sit at about 25%, but we do want to take that up as quickly as possible and get more and more women involved in our organization.
So ma'am, if you had to invest more in Punjab, what more would you want from the policymaker? They're all here today. So this is the best time to
Actually, I've not had any issues here, and I have a lovely piece of land in Amritsar where I'm going to start a hotel very soon. So not really. I think we've had a good support from the local administration. So nothing that I can really ask for at this point of time. What I do need is liquidity, and you can help me out on that. So if I have the right liquidity, I can get started with that hotel very soon. No, but it's a very supportive administration, so really nothing much that I would like to ask of.
Thank you. Rajiv, if I may, you've changed the landscape of India in many ways. I mean, Delhi is no longer the same as it ever was. We've seen that change over time. And they say RERA is the point where it was before and after, the threshold point. How do you see real estate development in India now, post the RERA era?
Well, you know, RERA was a good legislation designed to give confidence to the consumer. And I think it's, like every new legislation, going to find its feet in the next couple of years. However, I do believe that RERA is having an impact in the term of the number of people who will be able to survive in the post-RERA era. And I think it will lead to a lot of consolidation in our industry. Coming to the specific question of Punjab, I still feel that Punjab, as everybody talked about today, thrives on entrepreneurship, thrives on small startups. And I think real estate in Punjab also was, very frankly, dominated by such enterprises for as long as one can remember. I think it's to be seen how those guys adapt to the post-RERA era. And I think the potential of real estate housing in Punjab is so large that not only people like us, but I think all of them also need to be kept alive and vibrant so that together we can actually create the employment as well as the investment opportunities, which I think Punjab people still prefer hard assets, and given a good choice, I think would invest into them. So I do hope the RERA era gives more confidence to the consumer without consolidating the industry to the detriment of small builders and developers.
So from the consumer side, there's more confidence sitting in the system. From the builder side, what are the challenges which you are facing in Punjab? And I can also extend that to the rest of the country. You're the steroid of our economy.
Well, the challenges, I think, look, as far as everybody is concerned, is the demand scenario is a bit weak. The consumer confidence is weak. In the real estate industry, unfortunately, substantial number of people have defaulted on their commitments, and that has led to consumer sort of dissatisfaction. What I'd like to basically say is that the downside of RERA, as I said, is only that the intent is very good, but I think the application may turn out to be too harsh. We all have to learn how to distinguish from honest mistakes versus, I would say, fraud and cheating. I think the punishment right now is a bit maybe too black and white. That said and done, I think like any new legislation, somebody told me, or they can correct me on this, that it's like when SEBI was introduced, the broking industry went through a similar consolidation. Over time, it's emerged bigger, better, stronger, both for the investment side as well as for the consumption side. I hope RERA takes the same route. So far, the quality of implementation, contrary to public opinion, I think has been quite good. Most states have put good quality people in the RERA panels. I'm not finding any kind of arbitrariness out there. If they need to sometimes even speak against an errant consumer, they are doing so. So I think net, it's a good law. It will improve over time. The administration is reasonably fair, and hopefully the results will come.
Aditya, are you lending to real estate? Are you lending to real estate development? And is that part of the portfolio being looked at to be expanded further from your current percentage?
We're examining it.
As always, very polite. But coming back to that one, Rajiv, we're now going to be having three new smart cities coming up. There's a large level of urbanization happening in Punjab. And with that entire movement, how do you see the new landscape of urbanization develop in the state?
Well, I'm glad you said that. I think, net, I think as Jyoti also said, the statistics about Punjab in terms of agriculture's contribution to its economy is, I think, a pleasant surprise to me also that it's only 30-odd%. I think my perception was different. Punjab's growth rate also is very encouraging. I think these two things put together are naturally going to drive people more and more towards cities. What is a smart city? I think in India it's misunderstood to be some kind of new concept. Actually, the intent of a smart city is a livable city which provides a basic level of amenity and services to the people who live there. I think if these three cities can work towards that goal and reinvent themselves, the challenge is always that the cities in Punjab are old, traditional, and established. It's more difficult sometimes to reinvent something old into the new. I think the government here is very adept at implementation, and if they can pull this off, I think all three cities will boom and become large magnets of investment and job opportunities. So hopefully it's a good program which will work very well for everybody in Punjab.
The very interesting thing is, it's not just the urban development which is currently happening in Punjab, which is so aggressive. It's also the entire infrastructure ecosystem development. India per se, if you look at it, one of our weakest points on competitiveness is that our logistics cost is anywhere between 12 to 14%. The global average is about 8 to 9%. Punjab actually is probably the only state which has 100% connectivity with roads. But before I ask the next question, I want a show of hands. How many of you have visited Dubai? And you know, one of the most interesting reasons why you visited Dubai, or why most people develop any city as a tourism center, is the safety of that place. You feel safe in that city. The man you all have to thank for keeping Dubai safe and making it safe is the man sitting right on my left, Major General Mr. Sharaf. As the head of the police chief of Dubai in the early 2000s, he created an entire environment of safety which made tourism one of the biggest entry points to that city and changed the entire landscape and the economy of that place. Mr. Sharaf, thank you for being with us. You're in 49 countries. You run a monolith today. Logistics is one of them. And I know you're investing in Punjab and you're creating a logistical park. My question today is, and I'm coming from the point of partnerships. Out of those 49 countries, what has been your experience in India?
As far as praising me, it's a teamwork in Dubai that made Dubai very safe. And I am very pleased that the CM today was talking about the security and safety of the state of Punjab. And he has worked very hard to make it safe. And I can say I'm feeling it very well because I wake up early morning and go out, so I feel it's safe city to walk in. What made me to come to Punjab, sorry, your question about where I feel the best, I think the most place we have expanded our business is India as a whole. We started in India some 20 years before with a small company. Today we are in more than 85 cities in India, with more than 4 inland terminals and railway carriages, which carries cargoes all around India. We have activities in chartering ships. So the investment in India has become more encouraging for us to expand and expand with the system and the relationship that we have from hundreds of years. You can say historical relationship. So when you come to India, you feel you are at home. While we are going to other countries and we are investing there, but we are investing as foreigners. While coming here, I feel the welcome that I have in my business and the smoothness that I get in the business encourages me to add more value to it.
Thank you. No, that is very important. Before I ask my next question, I'm going to give you all an opportunity if you do want to ask a question. But just after I finish with my question. I have now a question for this entire panel. And this is, if you were to give one suggestion to the policymaker in Punjab today, to make that 80 billion come in faster than the 6 years, what would that be? I'll start with you.
Yeah, mine is, I sincerely request the government here to think very seriously and fast to increase the quality of the services of the logistic facilities. First of all, the train. Today, the trains that moves across from India to between Punjab, and Punjab has become a hub for east and west of the country. You don't have the fast corridor links. You don't have the double deckers. And you must work very fast to make it happen. If that happens, more goods will move and move faster and cheaper. Today it is more expensive because of the services you just said before when you started. So this is, I think, for me as a logistic investor, this is one of the most important things.
But I must say, so even on the logistics side, it's a stated objective of the government that the cost of logistics is probably going to be brought down from 12 to 14% to 8 to 10%, and that's where the entire effort is. And that's where you see when they already have 2 airports which are global and 1 more being added to it, 4 domestic airports. and with this entire thing. But on a larger all India level, I think the plan now is to see how we use rail, water, inland water, mix connectivity right across and create a grid of at least on a 50-kilometer radius. So that 50-kilometer grid which develops and connects right across the country. I think to a large extent that will also answer the question of the pace of movement. But also what is happening in Punjab, General, is that if you see the road connectivity which is being developed, that big highway, all the way the industrial corridors coming to Calcutta in the east and going down to Bombay. So those two are already in progress and you're seeing the timelines going down tremendously. My question to you, Aditya, and this one we are going to have as straight as you always speak, that one policy change, and then I'm going to ask you after that, what will be your commitment to it?
I don't know about the one policy change because I've been discussing and there are quite a few things happening. And I do believe Madam will say we are committed to Punjab. But I think one thing that they should do is, one, do a better job of marketing themselves.
Very true.
I do believe that a lot more people should know you're not agri. A lot more people should know you're the only place that has interconnectivity. You're the only place that has Reliance fiber at every nook and corner. And get the money back from the central government.
Very well said. Ma'am.
So for me, I would say please focus on tourism. You already have a tourism policy and it's quite an exhaustive one. You have in the pipeline some circuits that you want to develop. My recommendation, let's develop those circuits and let's implement those circuits and then market that. Because we got to get out of this, conception, I don't want to call it a misconception, but a conception that Punjab is not for tourism, which is not correct. And having those circuits that we are talking about, let's get them implemented and let's market it. And one more thing I would definitely want you to focus on is that let's not forget, Punjab is about farmers and it's an agrarian society. We should focus on food processing. That's something that we need to do so that the farmer gets his benefit. And I know we are talking about farmlands getting smaller and smaller, and now you've got as small as 5 acres as well. So if the farmer is able and capable of growing something which can be processed, then he may not want to do that paddy that he's doing right now, and we may have a bigger solution to a bigger problem.
Essentially, you feel if there are plug-and-play models that could work a little easier for industry to come and start. So they already have a number of industrial clusters and they have these special industrial parks.
For
you want
processing.
More of those for food processing?
I think they need to now get more friendly with the farmer. So the farmer should be able to, I know we have the SEZs and things, but what is the access that the farmer has to that? So that connection between the farmer and the food processing could get enhanced. It's not really a plug and play, I mean, it's already there. But my point is that how aware is the farmer of that? How educated is he of that? Is he ready to take the plunge to grow more tomatoes because he knows it can be made into a tomato sauce? Is he happier to grow more potatoes because he knows that it can get converted into chips? So I think that kind of education going deep down into the rural areas and showcasing to them what the other possibilities are would be helpful.
Thank you, ma'am. Rajiv, we need those cities to be built, we need them fast and we need them big.
Look, I could just say that while urban development, Punjab's policies have been quite progressive, I'd only say that maybe we need to retune them a little bit more because the local economy will demand products which are maybe a bit cheaper and maybe with more density. But if you overall ask me, I may not know the statistics, so I may be wrong. I can speak for my industry. We generally feel that the Punjabi diaspora around the world has been always a source of capital, at least to the real estate industry, demand and capital. That seems to have ebbed in the recent times. If that is correct across the board, I think we have a very low-hanging fruit of trying to go out and convince them to come back and reinvest in the mother state. And I think it's something if the Punjab government takes the initiative, I think all of us would be more than happy to join and assist. And if we can crack that open, I think a lot of our problems, including your seeking an answer from Aditya, will become irrelevant.
No, I know Mrs. Suri mentioned that she has a hotel which is her plan for next year for Punjab, which she's going to start.
So I put a caveat to that.
The finance.
I said I need the finance. I have the land, I've had it for 5 years, but I need the finance. And Aditya is going to give it to me.
Both
so
the
let's get
bankers
that
are
commitment.
Here. 2 bankers are here, ma'am.
Yeah, but rate of interest has to be very special. Moratoriums. Long length. Yeah, so can we get that commitment? I can start the hotel now. I have the plan in place. This is public domain now, guys. Be careful what you're saying. He's smart one.
What do you say about the Japanese banker? You quoted the Japanese.
Suzuki-san, we are putting you in a tight spot. Sorry.
But Rajiv, question was, what are your plans now for Punjab?
Well, our plans are we have some development opportunities which, very frankly, were running at a little lower ebb over the last few years. We do certainly plan to expedite them, focus on the 3-4 cities which we have talked about. Chandigarh and expansion of Chandigarh would be one major one, plus Ludhiana and Jalandhar. So I think definitely we've already made substantial investments, but I think we will bring them to fruition in the next few years. We'll accelerate our activities, that's for sure.
Okay. One very interesting thing they've done, and they've been one of the first states to do it, is to create a land bank which is out there in public space. And now we are encouraging other state governments to actually follow suit from what they've done. And they've also digitized virtually all their land records. They're one of the first states to do that, which is excellent development. And that's where I believe that for real estate development as a whole, the way this state has gone about in its entire policy creation and to make it happen, it should probably be one of the best to be taking that on. Aditya.
That's the first good question you asked me. So we want to take from 500 to 1,000 branches. We want an HDFC Bank touch point at every 12 minutes. We want to make it cashless. We want to take our sustainable livelihood from 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. And we want to increase our share in the MSME market.
Okay.
And we want to be a major part in scaling, which we have discussed, by the way, with he's sitting here, she's sitting here, and everybody else.
No.
He's there. And we are large in any case. By the way, we're one of the largest banks here anyway.
No, we give you credit. We completely give you credit on that. General Sharam, we are waiting to see now what is your plan for Punjab next.
Well, we had good response from the Punjab government and on our land requirements, and we are expanding our logistic hubs. That's the main business we are going to do. And as soon as the demand is increasing, then we will build new storage facilities for the agro, and we will participate definitely in any future agro park if it comes, or food park. We have open mind to expand into Punjab, and the team is very much cooperative with the CM's office here, and our team has been in constant touch. We are also have done huge development in Haryana, which is very close to Punjab, and that is also complementing our facility in Kilai Raipur. Some banks are not very happy to invest in industry or in logistics, so we have to go banking some other places. But so every bank is not doing the same job that we are in, so our business is looking for investment from different styles of banking. But overall, we are satisfied and expansion plans are in place.
Before I bring the session to a close, and I know we're getting short on time, I have to compliment, and this is from our personal experience. I think the one-stop shop which you have created in Punjab and the policies in the past 36 months, they are exemplary, and they have set an example for the rest of the country to follow. Really want to give a huge round of applause. and very sincerely,
They even came to Dubai to meet us.
yes, and we are actually using the models which you have created here to showcase to other state governments to say, this is what is the ideal model. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of you, may I thank the 4 stars which we have here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Our gratitude to the esteemed panel. Well, it's been an extremely productive and informative day at this Progressive Punjab Business Summit, and it's curtains down now on our sessions for day 1. As Ms. Vinnie Mahajan said in her opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, apna time aa gaya. So on that happy note, I'm signing off, and have a wonderful evening ahead. Goodbye and good night.